Hey everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we get to talk about Furnace. This is designed by Ivan Lashin and it is published by Arcane Wonders.
This game is kind of all about the theme of that turn of the century, like capitalists like, I don't know, Henry Ford or Carnegie or something like that, you know, all these different characters who were very influential in like the industrial era of our country. So what we're doing is we are kind of building it, we're drafting all these different cards, we're building up an engine, gaining resources, putting them through our engine in order to get points ultimately and get money. That's kind of the whole point of the game. How can we make the most money? All right, let me give a quick overview of how to play. All right, here is our starting setup for Furnace. This game kind of works in two different phases, so I want to show it to you in two different phases. These are the cards that we're going to be trying to bid on and try to get into our own company. At the beginning of the game, we're all going to be dealt a capitalist card, which is basically a character that's going to give you some special abilities, some things that are unique to you, that are going to help you out, and they're going to do different things. Also, we're going to give you a starting company as well. It's going to give you some starting resources, some ability to do some upgrades, and maybe some conversions as well. I'll show you how all that works in just a minute, but first I want to show you how you grab the cards. So we have all these betting tokens. Each player is going to have a numbers 1 through 4. The highest number on each card is going to win that card. However, at the top of the card, you can see there's some resources listed. If you are the person who does not win a card but still used a betting token on that card, you're going to gain some resources multiplied by the number that you used. So let's say we really wanted this card over here. We might put our 3 bid on that. Someone might come behind us, and they can use their 2 bid and put it on there, meaning they know they're going to lose, but they're going to gain some resources as a result. Someone could put a low number out there, and then later on, if we really want that one, we could put a high number over them and take it from them, but then of course they would still get compensated with some resources. We're going to keep on going until all players have placed all of their bid tokens. At that point, we're going to resolve everything from left to right. There are 2 rules when it comes to placing your betting tokens. You can never place the same number down. So, for instance, once there was a 1 here, no one else could come behind and put a 1 there. And you can also not put your own color down there again as well. So once we've placed one of our own bidding tokens, we can't place another one of our bidding tokens there to use it for resources or whatever. All right, and then we're going to resolve all this from left to right. So, for instance, this particular card, whoever lost is going to get those resources multiplied by the number. So in this case, they're going to get 1 of these tokens. They get their token back, and then whoever had the highest number actually gets the card, and they get to put it into their tableau. Again, the yellow here did not win the card, however there's 2 coal there, so because they use their number 2 token, they're going to get 4 coal as compensation back into their supply, and whoever placed the highest number gets the card for their tableau. Some cards might have some kind of a transmutation or some kind of ability like that, and that's why I have to resolve everything from left to right. This particular one says you can turn 2 coal into 1 oil. So for instance, we know that yellow is going to win this card, so because the white player used their 2 token, they can, if they have enough coal, they can turn up to 4 coal into 2 oil. We're going to keep on going down the line until all the cards have been resolved and given out all their compensation. Now let's take a look at what actually happens when we gain our cards. So again, we had 1 starting building. These are going to be our starting resources. Remember, on the other cards, those are used as compensation when there's a number at the top there. For starting building, it's just simply going to be what you start the game with. All right, then also, whenever you use this card, you're going to start by getting an upgrade token. Then you have the opportunity to turn 2 of those iron into 2 times $2 each. And then you also have the ability to upgrade a card. This particular one says use an upgrade token and a coal to flip over any card. You can see on the bottom of these cards here how there's some parts that are colored in and some parts that are kind of grayed out. So whenever you do this card, you can only use whatever is colored in. This kind of just tells you what you will get once you upgraded the card. So if this was resolved, you just get 2 coal. However, once you've upgraded it, you get to flip it over, and now when you resolve this card, you get to take 2 coal, plus you have the opportunity to turn some of those upgrade tokens into money. So that's kind of the whole point of the game, is to get money. We're going to play 4 rounds, and whoever has the most money at the end of the game wins. Leftover resources are not going to be worth anything. Where you place everything in your lineup does matter, because you're going to be resolving it from left to right, just like you did from the cards that you gained earlier. So for instance, cards that give us resources, we may want to put on the left, because then later on, we may want to put things that use those resources to convert things into later on. So for instance, we could upgrade this. Then when we're resolving from left to right, it says we can get 2 coal plus 1 oil. Then we go through this card, and this card says if we were able to upgrade it with this one, we can actually use oil now to turn it into money. That's really all there is to the game. You want to make it as efficient of an engine as possible and programming everything from left to right in order to get as much money as possible. There are 4 kinds of resources in the game, including those upgrade tokens, but remember, it's all about the money. You want to turn everything into money as best as you can by the end of the game. At the end of the 4th and final round, whoever has the most money wins the game.
At its core, this game is a programming, resource management, and engine building game. Like, if you could take those 3 ideas and blend them all together, but make it bare bones, that's what this is. And it was so streamlined. It had those 3 main ideas to them, and it made it as simple and as straightforward as you could do. It's almost like a teaching tool. If you wanted to teach somebody one of those concepts of board games, you could play this game and then they would just understand it. It was really neat to see how these great concepts that we often think of these huge, 2-3 hour games, was just stripped down to the bare necessities for this one. And that's a good thing. I mean that in a positive way.
Yeah, I remember when I first was like, I play this a lot at board game nights, and when I was first talking about playing this with Bethany, she was very apprehensive, like, this is going to be one of those things, this is going to be a big ordeal, and then right out of the gate, she just, like, stomps on me.
It was great.
I love the resolving these cards from left to right on your player board, your player area. I think those choices of where to put things is a really important one. And the way they design the cards, a lot of times they'll give you some kind of a resource, but then the resources that they use in their own, kind of transmutation or whatever are different than what it gives you. So, do you put it early so you can gain the resources, or do you put it late so that way you can use resources that you earned from other cards in order to pull off whatever that combo was to get money? I thought that was a really great way of kind of testing you and giving you choices to try to make it as efficient as possible.
I actually really like the starting players, the capitalist cards that everybody got. I felt like all of their abilities were unique. None of them broke the game, but you still were excited with whoever you got. You're like, yes, I get to do this, or yes, I get to do that. Like, it was that little extra, and I felt like it was really well balanced. Like, it wasn't like you were hoping to get a certain player because only that person can do the certain thing, and if you have that person, you're going to win. I didn't have that at all with this game. I felt like all of the capitalists were really well balanced, and it was just a fun way to give you a little boost during the game.
So I played this a number of times. At 4 players, this game is very interactive. You have a lot of cards out there, and everyone's kind of choosing which cards they want by putting their high numbers there, and then trying to maybe put numbers underneath other people's bids to try to get resources. So there's this very interactive layout with a whole lot of players. So 2 players, I was a little bit worried. Like, is it going to lose a little bit of that tension? Is it going to lose a little bit of that excitement with the bidding? Well, there's actually a fairly intuitive and easy to implement AI character, basically. Kind of like a fake character that's going to be putting bids out on the board randomly. That's going to mess with it's going to basically simulate a real character, a real player putting things out there. It was a very easy to implement, didn't take up hardly any time at all, but gave a 2-player feel more like a 3-player game, which I thought was a very simple, clean way of adding that in.
Like Ryan said earlier, I don't know why, but I was so intimidated by this game. I heard so many people talk about it, and I guess a lot of the people that I heard talk about it in a positive manner, I know like heavier games. So I just assumed this was a heavy game, and I have nothing against heavy games. Like, I like that, but for some reason, I was just like, oh my gosh, we're never going to be able to play this. I'm never going to get it. It's going to be too difficult for me, which hasn't happened yet. But it could happen, and I thought this was going to be it. I don't know why it intimidated me so much, because it's not that at all. It literally does take this, the idea of programming and this resource management, and makes it so simple for me, but yet gave me plenty of meaningful choices. The rearranging and when you're going to place things to get the resources or get the benefit was great, and it was so simple. I don't know why I was so stressed out about this game, but I was, and I think it's deceptive. It makes you think it's going to be this huge crunchy game, and even though it's not a huge crunchy game, it still gives me a lot of interesting and good choices.
This thing is super streamlined. It's so slick, so easy to teach and learn. And I think that the engine building is just so subtle and fun too. Like, you don't feel like you're like this big overburdened thing, right? Yeah. You get all of the efficiency and all of the payout of having an engine building game without kind of the struggle that goes along with that too. Yes. It does not overstay its welcome. This thing is on the table, off the table, easy setup, easy tear down. The playtime is non-invasive. This is a fun one. And also, if you want to hear more about this game, we will be covering an expansion pretty soon too. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that. Do we like it? Does it add more to things? Does it we just want to get rid of the whole game entirely?
You have to watch it to
You
find
know,
out.
who knows?
We're not even going to give you any hints. No hints. We're not going to let you know. But because of that, we want you to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. And don't forget to follow us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
You guys, thanks so much for watching. This game was provided to us by a publisher in exchange for a fair and honest review.
And if you want to see more stuff, check out over here to see something we think you might like.
And over here, we think that YouTube has picked out a great video for you you're going to love. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.